the unemployment rate is probably going to be increased. When that happens, they start to get more stimulus out to people. The last federal stimulus checks were sent out about a year ago, despite some serious efforts to revive monthly stimulus checks. A lack of consensus among lawmakers had toward its approval. However, Senator Mitt Romney has been quietly pushing for a new version of the child tax credit that could get bipartisan support. A senator from Utah is pushing for a monthly payment for families. To know is that Romney's proposal, if approved, would extend the child tax credit program that ended in December 2021. Romney wants to make available a monthly child allowance to eligible families. Romney's aim is to come up with a Republican-friendly version of the enhanced child tax credit program. Under Romney's proposal, eligible parents could get $350 for each young child, while pregnant mothers could be eligible for a payment of $350 for up to 4 months. Parents and guardians of school-age children could qualify for a $2,050 per child. More plans to make stimulus checks available to almost all of the population. Then, the enhanced child tax credit payments, which had lower income, kept single filers with incomes of up to $200,000 a year. Joint filers with incomes up to $400,000 per year would qualify for the payments and lay down a few requirements. This requires parents and guardians to be employed to qualify for the extra. Besides, they need to show proof of employment to get the monthly payments. Romney also calls for repealing the Temporary Act for 90 Families program. TNF is a federal assistance program that offers temporary cash assistance to vulnerable families. It is estimated about 3% of the families receive benefits, as well as eliminate the state and local tax reduction. So, if approved, the program could be managed by the Source Screen Administration. Not the proposal does contain a few provisions that could appeal to conservative lawmakers, but it also carries a few controversial components. The IRS announced to help taxpayers who may have unpaid stimulus funds in 2021. The American Rescue Plan provides many important forms of relief. The IRS released some new information that could help you to do that. The broad swath of Americans were eligible for the help, which Rescues Act plan low and got some extra system. $1,400 stimulus check for adults and dependents, as well as expanded child tax treatment. Although much of the money made available last year has been distributed into bank accounts already, some of it hasn't. Anyone who hasn't received or they are due can get the remainder by filing a 2021 return. Individuals whose incomes are too low to file returns under normal circumstances. Those who aren't fully aware of their rights and obligations when it comes to tax returns and refunds. Unless you usually make enough money to follow your return, you didn't use online IRS tools previously made available to provide your information. Since the IRS wouldn't have been able to calculate your data, rectify the situation. You'll have to submit a return this year. They announced some resources that can help you do just that. Some of the resources that could help the lower income taxpayer to claim their unpaid stimulus money, which is better facilities throughout the United States that will prove free taxpayer services aimed at helping people resolve problems and assist people speaking English as a second language by providing them with detail. If your income doesn't exceed 250% of the popular level and you need some extra help, you can find a clinic in your local area and receive the guidance. The IRS also has other exciting resources available to help lower income taxpayers find a facility that will help them to prepare their tax returns. This includes the volunteer system and tax consulting for the elderly programs. If your earnings are $58,000 or lower and you speak limited English or are disabled, you should seriously consider making use of the resources. If you didn't receive the third round of stimulus payments authorized by the American Rights Act of 2021, for example, married couples who qualify dependents are eligible to receive a maximum credit of $5,600 depending on income limit. If you brought a baby into the world last year, you are able to file for a $1,400 that were owed, and etc. According to the IRS, some people not have received all their third round of stimulus money because it's based lives on the income and number of dependents listed on persons 2019 to 2020 returns. But the full amount of the 2020 recovery big credit is based on person. So, if an individual circumstances has changed last year, which means an additional dependent or earning less money, which could result in someone's become ineligible for a stimulus payment. The IRS has not factored these changes into their payments